So today, it's time for our first look at the next big attempt from a developer to make a survival game. In the past, we've seen DayZ go from mod to standalone and maybe lose a lot of its popularity in the process. H1Z1 come along and steal the limelight a bit, that's very popular with streamers, and various other games from developers, both good and bad. In my opinion, no game has currently hit the money square on, and it's prime time with the advancements of graphical quality over the last few years for games to go all in and capture the audience that are patiently waiting for that perfect survival game. And now, enter Escape from Tarkov. Set in the fictional Russian city of Tarkov, the game throws you right into the middle of a conflict between two private military companies, which act as a traditional MMO faction. This conflict has sent the city of Tarkov into anarchy, and players must choose to join one of these companies and then set off to do battle with their enemy, discover Tarkov's secrets, and figure out why Tarkov has been sealed off from the rest of the world by UN and Russian military forces. Sounds pretty awesome to me, and fleshed out as well. We'll have to see how much of the story will take its toll on the actions in the game. When a player chooses their preferred faction at the start of the game, however, they will be given a kit of weapons and supplies that they can use initially, although they won't be very helpful for long. As you progress through the story and the game, your physical and moral actions will play a big role in how you're perceived over time. In terms of multiplayer, you'll be taking part in raids, which will take place in a variety of locations across the city and will lead players closer and closer to what the developers are calling the hot zone. Completing these raids will of course give you rewards such as experience points and loot, but you will be subjected to the harsh reality of losing all of your gear should you die in a raid. All the weaponry, clothing, medical supplies, food and other things are gone, and not able to be reclaimed other than finding them all again out in the world. There will be secret locations, however, where you can store all of your collected loot should you want to, and then come back at a later time and retrieve those items. The raid sections of the multiplayer will be smaller than the whole size of the map, around 8 square kilometers, and will allow up to 64 players to enter them at once. You can enter them on your own or as a group of friends, which I would probably prefer doing considering the amount of people you could end up facing. Dynamic weather and the time of day will change as well, but they aren't persistent to the game world. You'll also encounter random events like mortar strikes during gameplay, which could hinder your progress. Each of the raids you take part in will help you unveil Tarkov's past and lead you forward in your quest to find out why Tarkov has been sealed off from the rest of the world. On this point though, the developers have clarified that there won't be any supernatural goings on. All of the story will be based in reality. Alongside this, you'll be able to take part in free roam games on specific servers, which will have a bigger map size for you to traverse, up to 16 kilometers. But like the raids, players will be limited to only 64 in total. Finally, on the game types, there will be an offline mode for those of you who want to go totally against AI. As this is a MMO, you'd expect a robust skill and progression system, and that's exactly what we're due to be getting. As mentioned, during the raids you'll acquire experience points that can be spent on over 150 individual skills with unique abilities split into 4 categories: physical, mental, combat and practical. You'll need to maintain these skills though, by continuing to spend experience points on the skills you wish to keep, or they'll slowly degrade. This is a great additional feature, as you'll need to be thinking about what you want to do moving forward and whether the skills you've already invested in are worth keeping or starting to work on something new. Alongside the progression system, you'll also be able to form guilds within the factions you chose at the start of the game. These will help massively when it comes to the trading of goods within the city of Tarkov. These guilds will contribute directly to the in-game economy, and depending on what loot you might have, you can set the standards for what you want in return. And whilst we're on the point of making friends, yes, it will be possible to make the difficult choice as to whether you want to kill your own team members or not. Why would you want to do this, you ask? For loot, of course, says the DayZ Bandit. On to weaponry and damage. The game will adopt a realistic damage model, and you won't simply be subjected to having an overall health bar for your character. Body parts like your torso, legs or arms can all be damaged individually and will need attending to separately should you get hurt. Choose not to help yourself out and heal these wounds, and you could die from infection, as well as other realistic forms like dehydration, cold, or even poison. And to make sure you have the necessary platform to help yourself in Tarkov, the developers have created a very robust inventory system for you to manage. Games like DayZ in the past have never really hit a home run when it comes to the inventory system, always being slow and cumbersome, and often leading you into danger as it took you so long to swap things around. Here, the developers have gone for the most visual option they could, using a drag and drop method to move things easily. For example, you can obtain keys and crates around the world of Tarkov, simply drag a key onto the crate, and voila, you can see what's inside it in a separate window. Glorious. Weaponry now, and again, as mentioned, this is going to be as realistic as the developers could possibly make it. Guns will misalign, jam, and even overheat when used too often, forcing you into the role of caution. Too many survival games in the past have got it wrong with weapons, allowing you to just simply spam them, and not being any penalty for doing so. Based on the 2 trailers that we've seen so far, the gunplay does look very good, which is something I'd want from a shooter-based MMO. Again, looking back at DayZ, gunplay in the mod was very inconsistent, and this is something that should have been changed earlier on. On top of this, customization is beyond anything I expected for a first-person shooter, let alone an MMO, allowing you to change multiple different parts from the sights, the stock, the barrel, the grip, everything really, and it comes in a lovely 3D render menu as well, very much like Medal of Honor Warfighter or Crysis. That's a lot of information for our first look at Escape from Tarkov. The developers have clearly been working hard on the title, and they've also kept it very, very quiet. The basis of the game does look very similar to The Division, but ultimately they are completely different settings, one in New York and one in the wastelands of Russia. Apparently, the developers have confirmed that the game is not 100% ready yet, and that's backed up by the closed beta that they will be running very soon. You can sign up for that over on their website, which is linked in the description. I'm already signed up, and this looks too good not to try, but as mentioned, there are still a lot of things to be worked on by the developers before this game is really ready to hit the big time. There's a lot of content to get right, so I'm sure we'll be seeing a lot of bugs in the beta. But hey, what a beta's built to find. Thanks for watching, I hope you enjoyed it. Leave me your comments and thoughts down below. Is Escape from Tarkov a game that you'll be trying, or one you'll be passing on? Let me know down below, and while you're down there, give me a like as well. But until next time, my name is Westy, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.